they did. And I guess this is where he says, now I'm playing with power. And then fucking, he's in a nightmare, and it's kicking the crap out of him. And they say it's kicking the shit out of him because his stomach is being fucking inhaled because the foot is kicking him, and he's feeling it in the real world. And this is where Maggie has the weirdest fucking line delivery. This is where I'm like, oh, she's in love with him. Because he says, I have to go in. I have to go in and take him out before Freddy gets him. And Maggie, looking at him with the dreamiest of eyes, just says in a very, very whispery sex voice, that's crazy. And then, of course, Spencer fucking jumps up and smacks his head into the wall. And then falls down and starts walking. He goes, what do you call that, rational? And then...
when he leaves the room, his arms are literally...
He's marching away.
Like a video game character.
And then that's where he goes to... Because now he's jumping up and down, and he's punching holes in the wall, and, like, spinning around. He's acting very cartoony.
Literal cartoon sounds are like boing,
boing, boing, boing, boing.
Yeah.
Again, this is a cartoon. Accept it.
Well, you don't have to accept it.
Yes, you do. So then... this is when he turns to Tracy. This is when John turns to Tracy and he's like, you're going to have to lay me out. I have to go into his dream. And she goes, what? And she grabs it. He literally hands her a board, like a 2x4. He's like, you're going to have to fucking lay me out. And she goes, no, I know a better way. And he's not listening. And he's like, there's no time to talk, just do it. And he slaps her across the face. You don't do that with Tracy.
No.
Fucking whoof. Hits him in the face. He jumps through, and in a bit of a callback to the Nightmare series, he falls into the table and disappears.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's a decent shot. He falls through a fucking bunch of barrels and shit like that. Then all of a sudden, a fucking ghost appears. Yeah. And now it's Tracy. And Tracy, who was apparently forgotten the slap, it's just like, told you there was an easier way. Concentration, meditation. That's what Doc always says. And she, like, pats him on the back, and I'm like, why are you friends now? Why have you not kicked him in the nuts? Because he deserves it.
So they see Freddy playing.
Yeah, she says, is that him? And she sees that he's playing a video game.
I don't know, the guy with the burnt face and the claw hand. I think that's him.
That might be him.
That might be him.
And then I do enjoy him just sitting there with his feet up, just playing a video game.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there with his, he's got an Atari controller, he's going to town, and I'm like, Atari, that's fucking current, guys, in 1991, well done. And then she goes, oh shit, Spencer, kicks the controller out of his hand, unplugs it from the TV, and then this is when Spencer in the dream is fucking going to town. He's beating the shit out of fucking Freddy, and he's like, he slams the door shut, and they're trying to open it, and he goes, hey, you forgot the power glove, and now all of a sudden his glove has turned to a bunch of knobs and switches.
See, this is now I'm playing with power.
I swear he said it before him, but that's cool, whatever.
Because he's saying it because now he has the power glove. To say it before would make no sense.
I literally remember now. You're absolutely right, because he does say it as he flicks a switch, and then
now I'm
Spencer
playing with power,
jumps, and this is when Spencer jumps up the stairs. Yes, you're right. So then he's fucking using the power glove, and it's punching, and I'm like, oh god, this is happening. As a kid, this was the greatest thing ever.
Video game Spencer is on a ledge, and then underneath the ledge, it's a bunch of the tennis dads at the bottom of it.
And what happens is he's jumping up the stairs because Freddy just goes boing, 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 boing. Because again, Freddy is just a jackass. And he's jumping up the stairs, whatever. And Maggie's trying to stop him, but the rug pulls out, and it's a hole to hell. Mm-hmm. Freddy's a big fan of these holes to hell. It's just how he lives his life. So then Spencer is legitimately teetering back and forth, and you're hearing boing, boing. I'm like, oh my god, this is happening. Oddly enough, I'm not embarrassed by this movie. As stupid as all of this is, as stupid as but I call this my favorite movie. But as stupid as this is, I gotta tell you, there was 1,000 times where I had a huge smile on my face. I'm like, I just love this so much, even though it's dumb. And then, so Freddy fucking says to them, like, you know, just like, I got him or something. I can't remember the exact line, but he's basically like, he's fucked. Uses the Freddy still has the towel, whips Spencer. Spencer falls down, tumbles down into the thing, falls. He's dead now, and then it's just like the score keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and Freddy just goes, "Hey, I beat my high score." He's very proud of himself.
Yep. So, Maggie, Tracy, and John, let's get the hell out of here.
Not yet. He absorbs Spencer,
Yeah.
And Tracy does a ninja flip.
Oh, yeah.
Which can only be called a ninja flip because human beings can't do this. This is some Crouching Tiger shit. Flips up to the scaffolding.
Kicks him in the balls.
Flat out kicks him in the balls. And a reviewer, an online reviewer, literally was just like, how come no one's ever thought of this? And I'm like, you have a point.
Yeah.
He's the first one who ever thought to just kick him in the nuts. He's got him.
Fred's got nards.
Yeah. Dead man's got nards.
Yeah.
And then he, of course, like, before she kicks him, he's just like, Daddy's waiting for you, little girl. Which, shut the fuck up, man. Hoofs him in the nuts. And then he is about to slash her, and then we get Spacey Maggie again. Like, shaking her, Tracy? And somehow that woke her up.
Yeah.
And then Maggie's just like, Spencer fell. I couldn't stop it. And she's just like, snap out of it. We gotta get the fuck, like, fucking goddamn it. And what are we gonna do? And Maggie just all of a sudden, okay, we're gonna pick him up and we're gonna get the hell out of here because John's still stuck in a nightmare. And they put him in the van and they start driving. Now, John, of course, has his usual dream. So he's on the bed, gets up, opens up the window, and it's bright, sunny. Oh, this is great. Walks downstairs, opens the door, it's fucking neighborhood's good. Kid literally throwing the paper, and I'm like, oh shit, this is good. And then it flies up, and it's nothing. And then he just goes, fuck this.
I'm not getting off this bed.
I don't care. Nothing is going to make me get off this bed. Then the bed catches
fire.
The second only good joke in this movie. There's two good jokes, and that one makes me laugh every time, too. So he's just like, God damn it. And he jumps off the bed, and standing there in an actually good delivery just goes, I hate this house. And then jumps out the window, and then he's, of course, in the air, and he's flying, and this is where we get the scene where he had to wax his chest. He's falling and falling and falling, and apparently you trust things that are happening in your dream.
Yeah, because he's got a little
He's got a little thing that says, in case of emergency, pull tag. So he does. And then a parachute opens up, and that's when the real-life John Doe in the van goes flying through the fucking roof of the van. And they're just like, what the fuck? And then they stop just short of the fucking Springwood line. Rough. Okay. So then he's fucking floating and floating and floating, and then you see Freddy up top. Honey, up here! And he flies down. And Robert Englund is out of ideas, because when he just falls down, all he's doing is... And I'm like, I want to make fun of that, but I kind of like it. So he's just sitting there, and he's like... He says something along the lines of, like, I know why you let me live. And he's like, oh... Do you think I'm your daddy? Wrong. And he starts cutting the straps to John's parachute. And he goes, but you let me live. Only long enough so you can bring me back my daughter. What? And then he's just like grounded, cuts the line. John starts falling. And when I say Bugs Bunny, this is why.
This is more Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, except it's successful.
Yeah, true.
So, whilst John is falling, we cut to the ground and Freddy is wheeling out a bed of spikes. And then he lays down and wipes his forehead like, whew. That's why I say Bugs Bunny.
Right.
Because that is the epitome Bugs Bunny move. And then... So John falls and lands, and his chest, because apparently he's already fallen back out of the van, in Maggie's arms, his chest just spontaneously spurts blood where he would land. And as he's dying, Maggie's screaming, and he says, it's not a boy, it's... And I'm like, why wouldn't you just say it's a girl, instead of it's not a boy? Yeah. I mean, I guess you're not thinking clearly, because you've just had all of the spikes in you, but weird. But anyway...
And then she's like, no!
Yeah. She thrashes a bit.
This guy I met 10 hours ago is dead. No!
And Tracy's yelling like, we gotta go, because he's now disappearing into Freddy. And Freddy has the line of like, well, you forgot where you came from, kid. Well, because now Freddy has an orgasm. Let's face it. He goes all white.
But I know
where you're going. Rubbing his chest. And then... He literally goes to the Springwood side, and where it says population, he crosses out the number and writes in 714, because clearly he's made his mark.
Yeah.
And then just says, it's traveling time. Somehow turns himself into a light.
And goes into
Maggie's forehead, and she just sort of like stumbles a bit, and Tracy's still yelling, like, we gotta get the fuck out of here,
now,
go.
Here's where she makes a weird choice.
Yes.
Lisa Zane.
Uh-huh.
Because she has this...
This is the first one? Are you sure?
Because she has this look on her face that implies that she was possessed.
Yeah, she's got a look that's basically just like...
And then she has a little smile on her face, and I'm like, so is that Freddy now?
I'm guessing because of what they end up showing, because the next shot is them in the parking lot of the shelter, which is where, like I said, in the deleted scene, they were going over what they were going to say. But this kind of... Because that wouldn't have worked very well, because you've got her, like, sort of right... Like,
that's what I'm saying. So
she's got, like, all these lines that she's made on the window, which I'm like... Well, what I think has happened, if that shot still existed, right? It happened before or after she's gone all fucking loopy.
Yeah.
Like, Maggie, or Tracy, instead of the line she gives, starts out with something else, and then Maggie sort of snaps out of it. But what we end up getting is Tracy just saying, whatever happened back there, it wasn't your fault, and she runs away, because she can't say nice things, because she'll turn to stone. So then, we cut to Maggie in the shelter, talking to her boss, going like, giving a bullshit story about
mentioning names, like Spencer,
and Carlos and John,
and he's like,
they all ran away. And then she's just like, and then he's just like, Maggie... None of those kids were here. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, and he goes, you're doing too many cases. Those kids are never here. And she's like, I'm not the one who has too many cases. You are. What are you talking about? Whatever. And she really doesn't understand what's going on. And then cut to Tracy talking to Doc. And Tracy's talking about, like, how, no one, like, all these things about Carlos and Spencer, and nobody remembers them. And she's like, I'm hearing strange shit. Like, people are dreaming about Carlos, but they've never even met him.
It's a weird thing, because I could have sworn in that scene she said Carlos and John, and didn't mention Spencer.
Did she say John? Oh, yeah, no, she did, because she does. Well, I think it's because either she had a thing for Spencer and doesn't want to admit it, or she just hated Spencer, which is entirely possible.
And Doc believes her.
And Doc is like, I remember. And she goes, why? And he's like, because I'm not fooled by
I'm a dream ninja.
Yeah, I'm not fooled by that thing you saw. And then Maggie pops up, Freddy, in like this fucking like demonic fucking like, oh shit, there we go.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like, don't do that, Jesus! Wear a bell or something, would you, lady? Like, yeah, Freddy. I'm like, fuck him. And then I think this is where she just goes randomly walking in the rain.
In the rain.
Yeah, she's just walking in the rain because that's what you do when you want to think in movies. She's walking in the rain, and then she passes by a newspaper or thing that says 9/10 Never Sleep Again, which I'm like, what was the article?
Also, I'm not that good at math. Where the hell was 7 and 8?
If I ever get a chance to talk to Ray, I swear to God, I'm going to join Twitter just to see if she's on it.
So she gets home question. And then, Mom?
And well, she goes and she...
And you're like, wait a minute, Mom.
Doesn't she have another nightmare?
No. Well, this is after. She speaks to her mother, she has the nightmare about Freddy's kill room.
I thought she had it before. Okay, well, either way, it doesn't matter. So she basically, oh, no. She goes into her office and thing, and she's like sitting there, and she's having this weird, like, flashy images of John, where it's just like, it's not a boy, it's not a boy, it's not a boy, and then she fucking, for no reason whatsoever, throws everything off her desk.
Yeah. Gets
up, grabs her jacket, and fucks off to her home. And I'm like, and she's like, Mother! And I'm like, my entire childhood watching this movie, I swore to God that was the same woman who was at the orphanage in Springwood.
Just different actors.
Different actors, but they look similar, same haircut, same outfit. It really wasn't different to me, and this is where that would have helped in that earlier scene. And the mother, I guess, isn't home yet, and Maggie finds out she's adopted and doesn't seem to think anything of it.
Well, no, she's like going through.
She just goes through it and finds the adoption notice. Goes, I knew it. What? You're not bothered by the fact that you just found out you're adopted? Okay, cool, whatever, be with that. And then the mother pops up, and she's just like, "What are you doing?
Like hey,
what are you looking? What are you looking at this?" And she's like, "Who were they?" And she's like, "Give me that." It's like, I have to know. And she's like, "Well, you don't need to know. Like, they weren't supposed to tell you."
Also, they didn't tell me.
Yeah, there's not supposed to be any contact. And then, of course, Lisa Zane said, "Oh, there's been contact." And then, are you sure she didn't have the nightmare first?
No.
Because Freddy shows up already, and I thought he showed up to her first.
No.
All right. Well, so the next one is... Oh, no, sorry. This cuts to Tracy ninja kicking the world.
Well, no. Right after this scene, that's where she has the bad dream of her, as a kid, going down to the basement.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I always keep getting them mixed up. Okay, so she has a dream now.
Yeah.
She goes to sleep, because that's what you do when you find out bad things. Because yeah, when she had the images, she was bawling her eyes out about John.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you